Hey guys, so we're back in Amsterdam at the RAI at METS, the Marine Equipment Trade Show. It is one of the biggest and craziest marine shows I've ever been to. It's full of electric propulsion suppliers. Let's go take a look. We are in front of the NT Systems booth where they manufacture modular inboards and complete electric control systems. They have a new 450 kilowatt motor that's modular. Let's take a look. Okay, we're here with Jaka at NT Systems, and they have their 80 kilowatt motor, the 200 kilowatt motor back here, and we're standing right in front of the 450 kilowatt motor. What can you tell us about this system?
Yeah, so this propulsion unit is the biggest what we produce for now. So it's 450 kilowatt power, and it has 160 Newton meters of torque. So the whole idea is that the propulsion unit is plug and play. So you only need the power supply, seawater for cooling, and communication which goes through CAN bus. So the whole idea of the whole system is that it's quite compact as it can get. And we have two versions, direct drive and gearbox version. The main good feature about the direct drive is that the motor have integrated thrust bearing, which means if you directly connect the propulsion unit to propeller, you don't need thrust bearing in between the motor and propeller. But direct drive is for the planning boats, not for the big displacement boats, but only for planning boats, because the RPM of our engines are 3,200, which is okay for the speed boats. If you have big displacement boats, you need to reduce the RPMs of the engine, so you put the gearbox version.
You need a reduction.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have also developed your own throttle lever and control system.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about your
So we have the throttle levers, top mount version. This is twin version of throttle levers. This one is single, and we also have the side mount version. So this is right, and you can have the left mounting side with the trim control or without trim control. It depends what you need.
So we're here with Yannis, who's the motor producer for NT Systems, a company called Boeli. And so Yannis, why do you prefer radial flux technology over Acel flux?
Hi, Justin. Basically, Radial and Acel technology are competitive in terms of, to have the same size of the electric engine to get the same performance. The Acel is used in applications normally when you want to have a bigger diameter of the electric engine and very short length. The bearings in Acel motor are always under the certain load because of the magnetic field, and at the same time the sealing of the Acel Flux motor is a little bit difficult and complicated. Also, the industrialization of Acel Flux motors is difficult in terms using special technologies like composites and so on, if we compare with radial flux technology. Radial is, again, depends what type of the machine you make. It can be very compact and very efficient. So we prefer radial technology.
What were you saying about the bearings when it comes to bearings?
In the axial motor, you have always two rotors. The rotor, because of its magnets, is making the forces to the axial load to the bearings, and because of that, the bearings are always under some special force. If you want to avoid this, you need to use bigger bearings, more stronger, and this means bigger size, heavier, and so on, which is in radial technology completely avoided, and we don't have the problems like this in radial.
Because in radial flux, you don't have constant pressure on the...
No, you never have the pressure because you have only one rotor, which is inside of the stator, and the bearings are free of any load in terms of magnetic forces of the rotor.
And that means much longer cycle life.
Much more longer cycle life, less load, and that's it.
So this is the Seabird 400X. I have electric propulsion.
Okay, we're here with Nathan of Seabird Technologies, and he's the CTO, and he's going to explain a little bit about their brand new Outboard. Yeah, what can you tell us about what's behind us?
Sure, yeah. So we unveiled the Seabird 400X yesterday here at METS Trade, publicly for the first time. It's a high-power electric outboard. Our interpretation of what that is, with the sort of ground-up clean sheet designs. Some of the key features of it are that we've got an integrated drive unit that's incorporated into the pod, so we can benefit from passive cooling, but also make sure that we've got sort of the most efficient setup, so reducing our sort of drivetrain losses. But it also means that, as you can see here, that it's packaged very tightly, so we're significantly smaller than a conventional outboard. So this opens up really interesting sort of design considerations for boat builders who want to have a bit more space, whether it's in the super yacht industry, if you want to have a bigger swim platform, or if you just need more real estate for cargo on like a more professional type boat.
This part is where I guess the motors are contained, or motors
That's
contained. Right. Do you have a lot of drag given that the size of it that's sort of underwater?
So I mean, the studies that we've done so far, indications are that in comparison to a conventional equivalent gasoline outboard, we are still performing better.
Better.
Yeah. So our frontal area is still lesser. If you have a look at the gear case of a conventional product, the gear case is quite chunky, and this gets quite draggy. So hence why we've got quite a sort of streamlined strut connecting the pod to the rest of the structure.
And it's passive cooling?
Yeah. So intention is to have no intakes. It will be sort of cooled passively, and just make the most of the fact that our power electronics are submerged. Right, we've got this amazing heatsink that we can use, and that's great because then we don't have any sort of nasty fluids that might leak or worry about corrosion problems, which you get with sort of conventional outboards. And then the other thing which we focused on is making sure you see no bolt heads, no screw heads, so everything is sort of mounted internally to try and give us that really streamlined surface.
Now that you mention it, you're right. It's nothing but just sort of seams.
That's right. Yeah.
External. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's our. We got it. Most of the team come from a sort of motorsport background, so it's sort of coupling the blend of aerospace, automotive, and marine. But our mechanical design engineer, sort of formerly from McLaren, and has a background in both sort of aerodynamics and mechanical design. One of his first points of call was to make sure he didn't want any exposed screw heads.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nathan.
No problem at all.
So guys, this is really cool. We are in front of Kreisel, and this is the inside of a Kreisel battery. We've seen these go into Marion boats. There are also the batteries that are being used in E1, but we're getting an inside look essentially of the architecture. So they use cylindrical cells, so you can see all the cells here. And then the other feature that Kreisel uses is full immersion cooling. So they have, I believe this is the input back here. So they have Basically, they use dielectric gel or dielectric oil. So it's an oil that's non-flammable, non-conductive, and it comes through this manifold and basically follows through these tubes, and they go inside the modules, and then they travel in a serpentine pattern, cooling the cells. And also, if the battery's too cold or the temperatures are unbalanced, they circulate the oil, it balances the temperature. So there's not one cell in this entire pack that's more than 5-degree difference between any other cell in the pack. They also have, so we look at the front here, this is a service disconnect. This is the cooling fluid in and out, so it comes out, it goes through a heat exchanger. We have the positive and negative terminals and communication, and this is a breather, so if there's any gases inside, it allows that to vent out of the battery. What they're telling me is that this is the older generation of battery, and the service disconnect is going away because what consumers have told them is that they don't actually need it anymore, and it's just done through the system itself. We can get a look at, you can see the bus bars inside. We have the bus connectors back here. What else can we say? So each of the cells are inside this composite case, and then you have billet aluminum that holds the whole structure together. And for servicing, Kreisel has basically this is all inside a case, and they can, to service the battery, they can take the case cover off and pull out, and they can service it at the module level. So if they have a faulty cell, they can just pull it out, pop a new one in, and your battery's good to go again. So this is the 63 kilowatt hour battery pack, and that's the older style, and these are their new products here. So they're actually, this is a 40 kilowatt hour pack. This is another 40 kilowatt hour pack in a different shape, and then up at the top here is 20 kilowatt hour pack. So those are the new products coming out from Kreisel. And also, if you take a look here, these are the new generation of the larger batteries. So of the new batteries, this one's going to be 58 kilowatt hours for 400 volts, and they also have a 700 volt battery that's 57 kilowatt hours. Okay, also a feature of Kreisel is their high technologically advanced advent calendar. You can charge your marine vessel, and you can also get chocolates out of it. So pretty incredible. Okay, we're here with Marvin, and we're at the unveiling of the Falcon 130 all-electric outboard, and it has a pretty unique feature with the lower unit rotates for steering. Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, the most unique feature of the Falcon 130 is the steering. We have the lower unit rotating full 360 degrees, and it can do unlimited rotations, so there's no mechanical stop. We managed to achieve that with a servo drive electrically also. So that is controlled by a PLC. That PLC receives the input from the steering wheel and then rotates the hub to the desired position.
There are no wires, so it can rotate.
Yes, correct. The connection between the lower unit and the upper unit is just mechanically and designed so that it can do unlimited revolutions. So you don't need to count how many turns you have done and turn back.
What's the power of this motor?
Continuous power is 130 kilowatts, and peak power is 220 kilowatts.
And then there's something about the propeller design as well.
Yes, because since we don't have any exhaust coming out in the lower unit, we don't need this diffuser ring. So we can have a cone tip that increases the efficiency, and also the center hub is way a bit smaller because all the lower unit is smaller than on a combustion engine, and that also increases efficiency.
Is it passive? What's the cooling system? Passive cooling?
Active cooling. It has
It has a seawater circle and a glycol circle with a heat exchanger.
Where's the seawater intake?
It's down in the center on the front.
Okay, guys, we're at the booth of a small company called Toyota, which are now entering the marine space with their control system. So, how did I get to controlling the smartphone? Is it maneuvering? Okay. So I'm now going to, on the simulator, I'm going to drive this boat using this smartphone, essentially. So you push it up to drive forward, and if I want to turn, I just tilt the phone, and you can see we're starting to make the turn here into the marina. So let's see if I can park the boat with the smartphone here. And it looks like they have, the simulator, I believe, has wind and current, and they're just using their technology from automotive, the many decades of experience they have, to translate into boat maneuvering. And I guess we have a bird's eye view there. I'm going to stop the boat here, and then let's see, I can go. I'm going to rotate. Oh, I have the touch and rotate. I'm going to just spin in place here. But let's say if we drop the phone in the water, we also have the smartwatch. Oh, it just reset me. We'll try again here. So now I can drive it by pressing this forward arrow here. And I think if I want to rotate, there's a bezel here that I can just spin, and it will spin the boat around in place. It also has side maneuvering capabilities. So I think the application for electric is you're seeing a lot of outboards now and different pod drives that have 360-degree rotation, which could potentially work really well with a system like this, because with electric drives, it just gives you that extra maneuverability that in this simulator here, they're just showing 2 straight shafts and a bow thruster. But I mean, the sky's kind of the limit here if you have multiple drives that can spin any direction. Very interesting. So we're here with Neil of ZeroJet, and they have their inboard jet system here, but they also have a new outboard. What can you tell us about the new outboard system?
Sure. Hey, Justin, good to see you, mate. Look, this is a latest outboard product we've just launched. Very, very excited about this. Probably the biggest thing that I'm the most excited about is the power to weight. So this is 25 horsepower, 38 kilograms. It's about half the weight of your average 4-stroke of the same power. So even if you add our 2 battery packs with it, so 2 20-kilogram batteries, you're with the engine and those batteries, you're pretty much on par with a 4-stroke that still needs a fuel tank. So we are finally at that point where electronic power to weight as we're starting to compete with what combustion is, because there's always been a mismatch with the batteries being an additional heavy weight, and then your performance is a bit down. So I'm very, very excited about that, particularly from that area. And then it's also the system that we've been able to put the system together in a really quick time. And the reason is because the motor that we use in our jet system, so the electronic motor there, that's been in design and development for the last number of years. We've got quite a lot of boats all over the world that are using the jet system. I mean, you can see just the brands behind us. You've got Highfield, Agilis, OC Tenders, you've got Zparq. We've got a variety of different boat builders that are real products around the world using the jet system. So the electronic platform in that is tried, tested, and proven, and works reliable. So we've now taken that motor, put it up on top here, got a unique belt drive setup. It runs down to the bottom, so really efficient use of the drivetrain as well.
And that's basically a fully waterproof motor that's able to be submerged, and
exactly.
And now that's what you're using here.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It's because the jet systems sit quite far down in the sump of a boat. So quite often they are running. If you've got large waves going over, you can be sitting completely submerged sometimes. If your bilge pumps are not running or things. So this system you could flip your boat over, run underwater, turn it on underwater. It's a beast.
And so it's pretty lightweight. I mean, 40 kilos, you basically pick it up and drop it on the transom of kind of any boat, and then you just have your actually what it's not high voltage, it's low voltage.
No, it's low voltage. Yeah. So we use the orange cables because this particular cable because the currents that we're running. So we do run quite high currents. So and the silicon coatings and stuff on the cable is also really nice for putting up in the heat environments and stuff. So they're a really high quality cable. Hence the reason for the orange. So it's not actually high voltage.
So that's great from a safety standpoint.
Yeah, I mean all the plugs and connectors that we use, Amphenol plugs and connectors. You know, it's very high quality. They're expensive stuff, but you know we need things to last. So this will be provided in whatever length you need. Just obviously it's a sample unit, and then now you've got a built-in display system. And say if you do run with, so we can little display there. You know, you've got just different runtime. You've got a few different settings and things you can run through. This is also available in helm setup. So if you do run with a helm steering setup, the display would just move onto obviously onto your helm, and this is a cover that sits on there. But yeah, available tiller, helm, and and 16 horsepower for the small battery setup, and 25 horsepower with a large battery setup. This is also going to integrate with the various other kind of batteries. So we've got a third-party battery integration module. So most of your top brands in the marine industry we can integrate with us and connect with as well. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I love it. You have a proven system. It's simple to install, and yeah, I can't wait to see this out on some boats.
Thanks, Justin. No, it's great to see you again, man. And thank you for coming around to seeing what we do here.
Likewise. Thanks, Neil.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so we're here at Explomar with Jonathan, and this is a fully electric outboard company. They've got some new products, and yeah, I'd like to introduce Jonathan. What can you tell us about your outboard?
Okay, yeah, you can see the outboards. These are full electric. It's actually new kind of the technologies. We are a startup company.
Yeah.
Established 2021. Okay, our team members are mainly from the EV cars, so we applied the EV technologies on the boatings. So our first product is Wave 300. Wave 300, the peak power is 225 kilowatt hour.
Okay.
Equivalent to 300 horsepower. Okay.
What's the continuous?
Continuous is 150 kilowatt hour.
150 to 225.
Yeah, 225 horsepower. Yes. And for this outboard, we redesigned the cooling system and gearbox.
This is your lower unit.
Yes, our own gearbox, because some players of the electric, they want to do the electric outboards, but they use combustion engines, gearbox. Just no too much change, just change the head of the engine. That way doesn't match the electric motor's characters. Okay, so we redesigned the gearbox. The gearbox is very simple, no clutch technologies.
Okay, very good.
Okay, the simple means the durability of the gearbox is higher. Okay, and
can handle the torque.
Yes, torque and torque is high.
Yeah.
And the durability is higher. Okay, the maintenance and repair cost is lower. Okay.
How did you achieve higher durability?
Because the gearbox.
Gearbox.
Yes.
I see.
The structure is simpler and more durable. You understand that? Yes. And we also designed our cooling system. You can see there's no inlet.
Yeah.
Okay. It's closed cooling system.
You have a closed cooling system.
Yes. Use the coolant to cool down the motor and the controller. Okay.
Are you using this as a sort of heat sink?
Yeah, that's right. The heat will be exchanged. The heat with outside water through the surface. You can see the surface. Yes. Yeah.
So these are cooling vents. Basically.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
It's our unique technology. Yes. And another technologies we use this kind of motor, electric motor is Flux actual measurement model. Okay.
Tell me again.
Flux actual metal.
Flux.
Yeah.
Flux. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. this
Axial flux boat.
yeah, yes, right, right, yes,
Understood.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this model has this kind of the features, the high power density.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes our outboard smaller and lighter
Yeah.
compared to other competitors.
It's
Their
very
300,
small. It's very
yeah,
small for
their speed 300 HP electric is much bigger and heavier.
Yes.
Yes. This outboard only 210 kilos.
Yeah.
It is the lightest 300 HP outboard in the world. Okay. And we, uh, to power this outboard, we developed our battery packs, including 125 kilowatt hour battery packs, and we also use the latest technology of battery, like solid state batteries.
I was looking at your brochure, and so the solid state battery has like very high energy density. It's like
Yes.
280 watt
To
hours.
how yes, 240 kilowatt hour,
And
but the weight is only 1,000 kilos.
all right, thank you very much, Jonathan.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Hi, I'm Jeff Butler, editor publisher of plugboats.com. I am here at METS Trade because this is the trade show for accessories, not boats themselves. It's different from a boat show. So it's everything that's around a boat, motors, and in terms of electric things, batteries, and all those things. So I'm here to find out what's new, what's the newest, what's the latest, what's the greatest. The overall impression I would have of the show is that there's not anything that's totally revolutionary, but every manufacturer of batteries or motors or anything involved with electric boats, everything is getting significantly better. Kind of the next iteration is 10% better than the last. So overall, just great improvement on everything. I would say that the exception to that is there is really a very impressive new motor, and it's from Seabird Technologies. They're the people that do the Racebird for the E1 series. And so they have done a 300 kilowatt continuous power. That's a huge power for electric motor. You're talking like 400 horsepower as an outboard. And because it's electric, the motor's under the water, so the top doesn't have that huge fossil fuel head. It's just this really slim, really just beautifully designed column. And to me, that was the standout of the show in design, but not only design of look, but also design efficiency and mechanically.
well, if you want the latest in electric boat news, plugboats.com. Okay, guys, so we're at the next generation propulsion zone. This is where they have all their future motors. So a lot of exhibitors that we're going to be going through have motors here. Let's go in and check it out. So we're seeing a lot of themes in the production of electric motors, and there's a pretty consistent theme where they have this sort of like blade-like outboard motor with a hub drive, and we have this from Timo. Let's see, does it say the power? 3 horsepower, 16 kilograms for this one. Then we have this Remigo. It's similar sort of design. Looks like a tiller outboard, tiller steer outboard. Has the same sort of like blade design there with probably a hub motor. And then we have a series of like higher performance or higher power electric outboards. So we have this one from Rad. We're seeing Rad Propulsion on quite a few actual applications on boats. And then they're utilizing the power to weight and this sort of size of electric to create this low profile electric motor. If this was a gas outboard, it would be like significantly taller. Moving over to a new company, we have Acel Power. I believe this is from Canada. And they have the sort of traditional shaped outboard. And what it looks like, kind of a cool feature, is I believe they have a camera on the back, a backup camera, which actually might come in handy. I've never maybe backed a boat up with a camera before on an outboard, but it could be a pretty good feature. And this is their other outboard, IE250, so 250 horsepower, electric motor. Pretty cool cowling shape. Looks like they also have a backup camera there as well, and maybe their own throttle lever system. We'll check out their stand and ask them some more questions. And then you also have these, call them rim drive, like hub motors. So I guess the stator and motor is sort of on the outside and the inside spins. This one's from Rim Drive Technology, and then you also have they have their own Outboard, same sort of system where you get steering from the sort of hub that turns, and then we also have the same thing. Not the same thing; it's a different system, but also from Blue Nav, similar system where they use a rim drive motor and their own kind of interesting looking. Would you call this a propeller? Probably is some different name for it. Interesting shaped fins there. Another blade style outboard from EPropulsion. EPropulsion has gained a huge amount of traction. I guess they have pretty good customer service and a reasonably priced product. And we're seeing EPropulsion everywhere. Moving on, we have a Sailmaster Bell Marine Transfluid. Okay, we checked them out in Long Beach, and they have this sort of hub sail drive motor. It's like an L drive, and then we have Falke's 400 horsepower motor. So I believe this one's like 320 kilowatts, and they have their motor inverter system right here. They're telling me yesterday that cooling actually is in this gear right here. So pretty nice system from Falke. We have a pod drive from Mytech. Another cool thing about Mytech is they won an innovation design with their sort of foldable motor. We cover that in the AST, but if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's definitely worth it. And then we have the C160 from NT Systems. It's a modular inboard system, so they have basically the motor, the inverter, and the cooling system and communication all in this module that you just drop in the boat, connected to your propulsion shaft, and that's it.
So I'm Leif Stavøstrand. I'm the CEO of Evoy Vita, and we do high output electric powertrains for boats. Yeah, so we've had 120 outboard on the water for quite some time already. Pretty good success with that. A lot of customers around the world, but there was always an ask for, can you do an inboard version? And got going on that. So it has the same components pretty much as the outboard, and now it's also available as an inboard, and it's actually become a really strong product for us. So this is also being shipped pretty much all over the world now, so we're quite excited about it, as it seems to have been a nice gap in the market for these type of applications. And we connect it to stern drives, we do shafts, you can also connect it to water jets, so it's quite versatile in that respect. Well, when it comes to lower units, that's optimized for internal combustion engines. Of course, you need cooling, you need somewhere to put the exhaust out, and there's a lot of things. Also, you have the gear in the lower unit is built for changing directions. So you have a gear in the lower unit that we don't really need, because we can just change the direction of the motor, right? So for us, it makes sense to optimize, make it more efficient, less drag, and also we can do some nice cost efficiencies around doing our own lower leg. So that's definitely something that we're excited to work with. We started dialogues with Vita about 18 months ago, and we realized that we're in the same space. They were making high output motors as well, and in addition, they have their boats. They have the Vita boats, which is for us means a lot in this time we're in right now, because it takes time to warm up all the boat builders to come on board with volumes. So in the meantime, we have a really nice package with 5.8 and 7.2 meter that goes into a lot of applications in ports and harbors, government, police, a lot of commercial application for that boat. So it's kind of a nice, call it a revenue stream while we're working with all of the commercial boat builders and the recreational boat builders to make their boats electric. So it's and also it's a lot of experience for us, feeling a bit of the pain of being a boat supplier. So we also understand better when we talk to all the different boat makers, like what we need to focus on and how we optimize our products for them.
And then speaking of boats, you guys, I think earlier this year, launched the Acel with Explomar.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. No, it's now currently the fastest zero-produced electric boat in the world.
That's using this outboard.
Yeah, so it's using the 300. And it's everyone that's been on them, they're super impressed by the performance, acceleration, how silent it is. So it's really been quite something to show off to the market, and we can see that quite a few are quite excited about it. It's also, although it's more pricey than your internal combustion engine, in the electric space, it's actually pretty aggressively priced as well. So that's getting quite a bit of traction around the world.
So I'm just at this electric boat event, and the sponsor of this event is a company called Helix, and they make this high power density motor. This thing right here is 150 horsepower, and it can boost up to 180 horsepower. It weighs, I'd say, maybe 25 pounds, so maybe like 10 kilos, something like that. It's extremely lightweight. And that just shows the power of electric. It's a 3-phase AC motor, permanent magnet motor, and it's just incredible, what you can do with electric. Imagine 180 horsepower, and I'm holding it right in my hand. Incredible.
Yeah, my name is Radia. I'm the CTO of Marine Sustainable Engines, and last 2 years we are working to develop the outboards we have behind me. We have maybe two type of motor, or two family. The big one is the 80 kilowatt. We have 90, 80, and 60 kilowatt. Is the one we have here, and we also have the little one with 40 and 25 kilowatt. We produce the motors in Barcelona. We are an integrator. MSC, or Marine Sustainable Engines, is a group. It's a company from the Requenes Marinos group. So it's easy for us to find a good relation with providers. We also use Kreisel batteries and CTA's batteries. We have two types of batteries, 63 kilowatts and 46 kilowatts, all of them at 400 volts. And we make maybe a little step forward this last 3 months, and we also create a rib from the brand of Requenes Marinos, a golden ship. We create a boat with aluminium to make it easy integration with the motor, because the important thing is where we put the big battery. So we designed the boat with a solarium to make it easy to installation, and to have a good demo boat to show the system. So, and we are here, so welcome to check and try our motors.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Facilitate decarbonizing more segments.
We build around 20 megawatts at the moment every year. Hopefully double of that very soon, which means we have very good partnership with the cell manufacturer, and they have a prediction to the future. They are actually quite conservative, and in the past couple of years the predictions were always about right with what they told us, and I would not put my hand into the fire to say it's more than 20% in the next 2-3 years more dense, which you're totally right. It doesn't change the industry to have the super light battery.
Okay, we're here with Mohammed of Falke, and they have a new product design in this special shape, which Mohammed's going to tell us about.
Yeah, so this is one of the big problems that we have to overcome in electrification is the safety of the battery. So the fire is always a concern for people. In an electric car, when there's a fire, you open your door and leave the car. But if you are in the middle of the sea or the lake, where are you going to go, right? So that's the first concern. The second concern is the high voltage side of you are dealing with 400 volt or 800 volt. There is water around you. How are you going to deal with it? So safety standards for cars will take care of a lot of this, but still people feel a little bit unsafe with having high voltage and fires, lithium batteries under the large lithium battery underneath the boat. So we came up with the concept that we patented over a year ago. And the concept is basically to enclose all the pieces of the electrification into a cartridge. And the cartridge looks something like this, where the GRP will kind of enclose all the components. So this will go into a production line where one platform will be assembled, tested, approved for automotive kind of grade production, and then enclosed into a GRP like this, sealed, everything in except the charger and the communication, the charging port and the communication. And then that will be, this cartridge will go into the boat, will ship to the customer. The customer can just insert it into their boat. And the huge advantage is the boat, there's total insulation, GRP, between the boat and the cartridge. The cartridge is outside the boat, not inside the boat anymore, fully sealed. Even if there is a fire, although we use lithium LFP batteries, which doesn't catch on fire, but even if you use NMC batteries, which is inflammable, the fire will go down because we have a fire blanket on top of here, so the fire will go down into the water. And everything is high voltage insulated, so you'll sit in your boat safely. The other advantage, if there's an issue with the service, the dealer can just remove that cartridge, give you a loaner cartridge, and then you can just go the same day, and everything can be kind of worked on, not inside the boat, but outside in a very controlled manner. And the upgradability in the future is going to be very easy. Basically, after 10 years, the battery technology will improve tremendously. You can get double the range or triple the range with the same amount of battery. All what you need to do, remove the cartridge, put a new upgraded cartridge, and you go. So you can keep your boat for 20, 30 years, no problem. So that's the biggest advantage of the cartridge.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we're here with Jonas, and he's the founder of Zparq. They are a Swedish outboard maker getting ready to launch pretty soon here. Yeah, welcome. What can you tell us about the company?
Yeah, well, I founded Zparq together with some friends 4 years ago, and we founded it because there was no electric pod motors that was small and compact with high power. So we developed this pod motor, and this is up to 10 times smaller in volume and weight than any other pod motors. So this is 4 kilos and it's 10 kilowatts. And it's very modular, so we can use it in basically any type of applications. We have a patented cooling solution, and that's why we can get the motor so small, thanks to the cooling. So we cool the motor inside and in between with the water that it sits in. So it's actually, instead of buying an industrial motor, encapsulate it and keep the water away from the motor, we actually use the water surrounding it to cool the motor. And yeah, that's cooling is the key to get phenomenal power in the motor, and we have the solution. Yeah. So it's a plug-and-play system. So the only thing you do is connect it with cables, and then you're good to go. And the battery packs are 20 kilos each. You can carry them home, and you can charge them at home if you don't have the charging infrastructure at the dock. And they're also passively cooled, so you don't need any active cooling for this system. Super easy. We will launch this product next year during the summer, so that's when it's on the market.
Okay, we're here at Acel Power. They are a Canadian company, and they manufacture their products in Taiwan. So they have a basically a fully integrated outboard system. So let's see, they have the 250 here that we saw earlier, and the 75 horse here, and they build the full system. So it's electric. Let's see, it's an AC motor, full outboard system. They have their own throttle lever and basically the full system. So it comes with the batteries, the throttle lever, the display as well. And they have a pretty cool looking smart key. That's this here. And the one feature that I haven't seen on any other outboard is they have a backup camera, which is pretty cool, but it's also night vision, so you can see in the dark. And the company's actually been around for 3 years selling these outboards. So they've been around a while. They have a number of products out there. All right, so we're here at Rad Propulsion with Toby, and he's going to take us through basically how their system works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this drive here is the Rad 40. So it's a 40 kilowatt electric motor, which is equivalent of a 60 horsepower conventional outboard. Compared to a conventional outboard, it's really low and compact. So a petrol outboard would kind of be up here, whereas ours is really low. The other advantages of our system, so we've got an independent steering leg that's on the water, and you get 180 degrees of steering. A conventional outboard you would get around 60 degrees. So with ours you get a lot more control. So on the boat you can spin on the spot, you can go sideways, and you get really, really tight control. It's really nice to drive. The other advantage, obviously, is where the head of the motor isn't moving. Suddenly you can build around it. You can get nice swim platforms. It gives you a lot of options for the boat builder.
So you guys have been in business for a while, and you're saying that last year you delivered on almost just about 100 units.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so 2024 was our first year of full production, and the target for the year was to do 100 drives, and we're nearly there. So yeah, it's been a really good year for us.
That's awesome.
It's exciting times. Yeah, it's great.
So you can see the profile of their outboard. This is a new one that they're developing versus what a standard outboard looks like. It's okay. So we're here with Matt from WattAlps Battery Technology Company.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm excited to hear about your batteries.
Yeah, we are a bit special in the environment of batteries because we're providing a very innovative technology. Basically, this is the best cooling technology existing on the market. It enables us to push the limits of classical batteries by making them safer, by increasing their life, and also increasing their performance. So fast discharge and fast charge are possible, and repeatedly possible with our technology. How do we do so? We immerse the cells, the individual cells, into a fluid, which is electrically insulating, and this fluid is also biodegradable and non-toxic. And then we circulate this fluid all around the battery, and we have patents on the way to circulate this fluid all around the battery and make sure that we have very homogeneous temperature everywhere. So this helps us guarantee long life, high performance in all conditions, and fast charge, together with very high safety. If we compare with water-cooled system, we have no risk of water leakage in the battery system.
Can we take a look at your modules and maybe explain a bit about? So as I understand, these are 1.75 kilowatt hours per module, and you can just build as much as big of a pack as you
this
need.
is one module here, and you can. This is your standard brick, and from this standard brick, we can build battery system by stacking them together. We can have up to 14 modules stacked together, and then you put different stacks to form a full battery system. And these stacks are then collected and connected in parallel on a junction box, which makes the interface with the boat or the machine or whatever the application.
This is your junction box.
This is an example of the junction box.
Yeah.
Pretty simple one with one inlet, one outlet. So you have the two main contactors, pre-charge, heater management, fuse, and you have redundant current measurement for high level of safety here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the applications for this are pretty exciting, based on just really the shape. I mean, especially for boats are challenging because of hull shape. A lot of companies just build sort of one rectangular box, and this it's really sky's the limit on the shape.
Well, we like to say it's the most modular system on the market. We have the form factor we have is the smaller one on the market. So we can very well adapt to a lot of different configurations while providing fully validated systems with a high level of safety. Because we have this passive safety with non-propagation of thermal runaway thanks to immersion cooling, but we have also active safety with our automotive certified BMS, battery management system.
Okay. So we're standing in front of Torqeedo, and Torqeedo is one of the longest players in electrification in the marine industry, and they have a full product line. They've been around a long time. Let's go see what they're about. We're here with Matthias of Torqeedo, and he's going to talk a little bit about the company and sort of the products they offer. And yeah, so first of all, how long has Torqeedo been around?
We've been around since 2005, basically starting electromobilization. And so far we sell around 200,000 units in the electrical outboard market or in the electrical market.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So what's sort of the product line that you guys have?
We have basically a very complete product line. You can see over there, that's our smaller units, let's say, starting at around 1 kV and then going up here to 100 kV. So we are, I think from that perspective, the only one who can offer kind of a very complete product portfolio.
So that you've been in the game, I guess, quite a long time. Is it almost more than 20 years now?
Yeah, nearly 20 years. Next year is 20 years celebration.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what sort of lessons or insights do you have in the electric market from being around that long?
I think it's this. It is one of the solutions which is coming into the market, and it has a certain adoption rate. And you have to educate the people because they always compare you against horsepower. So how you kind of kilowatt against horsepower is the one thing, the first question most of the time. And then basically that electrical motor has much more thrust than an outboard motor and torque. So I think that's the next question you normally have. How does this play together? And then it's range anxiety. You have to get over, it's like how big of a battery I need, can fit the battery in, and so on. So that's what we played over the last nearly 20 years. Yeah.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the partnership with Yamaha? Yamaha, I guess, has sort of purchased the company, and what you can expect to see from that.
We are super excited about that new acquisition of Yamaha because they are a large company, known the marine market very, very well, and having basically all over the planet their service points, their dealers, and now we can utilize or work with their network together to really distribute our products around the globe. This is one very beneficial for us. Yes, we are in the market for 19 years and sold 200,000 units and be very successful, but they go all around the world, and I think service is always a challenge, and you want to provide your customers the right service. And with the extended service network, we can do that now. I think that's one. The other one is having on the shareholder side somebody who is knowing this market very well, understanding the market, and you can now discuss with them how does it work, what different segments we have. It's a lot of fun, and we really enjoy it to have them as a shareholder.
Okay, well, thank you, Matthias. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Torqeedo has a pretty full product line. This is their 100 kilowatt deep blue inboard system. They have their own battery. This is, I believe, an 80 kilowatt hour battery. And moving on down, they have pretty much a full range of outboards from 50 kilowatts all the way down, I want to say, to they have the smaller range as well. So we're in front of EPropulsion, and EPropulsion is a company based out of China, and they are rapidly becoming extremely popular. I've seen their outboards and their propulsion systems in marinas all over America and Europe as well. Let's go talk to them and see what they're about. Okay, we're here with Ricky from EPropulsion, and thanks for talking with us. So what can you tell us about the company and the product range?
So EPropulsion has now been going since, well, for 12 years. And we've accelerated quite quickly in the electric propulsion market. So we started with a small range of outboards, now doing outboards from 500 watts up to 40 kilowatts. This is our small range. So this motor here is our smallest one. It's 500 watt motor, battery integral. This is
the battery is inside.
Integral battery. Yeah, screen on the top.
So you need nothing but this whole unit. You just bolt it on your dinghy and off you go.
Yeah, super simple, super lightweight. So it slips on and off. Very light.
Very cool.
Very easy introduction to electric boating, and cost effective as well. So it starts at $1,000. Then we come up to Spirit. It's been our most popular motor that we've ever built. Most people are familiar with the Spirit. The light was new for this year.
This battery, this is the battery here, right? It just unclips.
This is the battery on top. So we got one simple connector, and the battery just lifts on and off.
Yeah.
So then you've got two movable halves. Makes it so much easier to move around, to manipulate than a combustion motor. It's all about being super easy to use. Clear water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we move up to a 3 kilowatt motor, and this we do in 3 and 6 kilowatts. Slightly bigger boats or heavier boats, that might be a good solution for. Pontoon boats is very popular. Maybe a dual motor setup for a 20-foot pontoon boat. That's a good solution.
2 of these. How do you achieve steering?
So this is set up for remote steering. We also do a tiller version.
Okay.
Moving around. This is a new product for the show. We launched this one just this week. And it's a 20 kilowatt pod with a sail drive mount. So this is a standard mount that will fit any Volvo or Yamaha sail drive, and it's just a straight bolt-in replacement or a new boat. It will just perfectly go in. That gives you about the same power as a 50 horsepower diesel inboard. But there's no cooling system required. You're saving so much room inside the boat. Completely silent. Hydro regenerates under sail. And we're doing that in a 20 kilowatts and then down to the 12 kilowatt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you guys are moving into a bit higher power outboards.
So now this is a range of outboards that we've been doing for about 1 year. Yeah, this has been the first year of this range of outboards. So we've got 12, 20 and 40. It's been a really successful range.
Is that a hub drive motor as well?
So these are, all of the motors are down the bottom in the pod down here. And then we've got some power electronics up here. It's got inbuilt electric steering, electric tilt. So there's no need for hydraulic systems, cables. Everything connects into the CAN bus, so it controls off of our steering helm. So it makes it a complete solution, all in electric.
Awesome.
Moving further down, we have a range of small inboards. So we do 10, 20 and 40 kilowatt inboards in this range. And then a selection of batteries and all of the rest of the accessories. So everything from EPropulsion we build in-house. We design the motors in-house, the power converters, inverters, controllers, batteries, BMS systems. So it's a complete solution from EPropulsion.
That's excellent. So this is an example of your battery here.
So here's an example of this is a 96 volt, 10 kilowatt hour battery. And you can have multiples of these depending on your application.
So you have connections if you want to just connect to your single power source, or if you want to chain these together, you can add additional batteries.
Exactly that. So yeah, we can add additional batteries in parallel, and it's all set up to do that very simply and easily.
What's the largest inboard that you have?
So this inboard is 40 kilowatts.
Okay.
So this one, good replacement for so 60, 70 horsepower diesel inboard. So popular going on say 50-foot blue water cruising boats. We might also add a hybrid solution to that, so it could be a range extender, whether that's diesel or hydrogen. Then yeah, we can look at options.
Okay.
And then we move down to our commercial range of products, which is what I normally look after. So this is the next step up, and this goes from 60 kilowatts to 250 kilowatts. This motor here represents 100 kilowatts.
Okay.
And then we start to do bigger battery systems. So multiple batteries all wrapped up. A big battery system for us right now is about 2 megawatt hours, which is about 20 tons of battery.
That's a large battery.
Yeah.
That's a large battery.
So that's going to be suitable for big commercial craft.
Do you know the power of what the stack would be?
So this stack is representing 80 kilowatt hours.
Okay. And you can, it looks like you can just add in as many
and we can just keep adding on to that. So it might not just be one stack, it might be multiple stacks. And then we do all of the BMS systems to control multiple stacks of battery to provide the power for all the commercial solutions up to about, maybe 100,000 tons.
Okay. All right, Ricky, nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're in front of the Molabo booth, and they are an outboard manufacturer from Germany of low voltage outboards, 48 volts. And pretty cool thing about that is it's you don't have any safety issues with battery in terms of high voltage. Let's take a look at what they have. This is their 50 kilowatt motor, the Aries outboard. So it's 50 kilowatts nominal and 48 volts. Weighing 120 kilograms, and one of the interesting things about Molabo is that they actually just announced a partnership with Frauscher, where Frauscher is going to be using their system to power some of their electric boats. Here we can see a battery pack that they're using, and this is also their inboard motor. And again, it's 48 volt system, low voltage.
Hello, my name is Eric Guillemin, and I started to work on the membrane ondulation 25 years ago. I met the inventor of that technology, who was Jean-Baptiste Drevet, that was his name, and he invented the ondulating membrane that could be used by pumps or by nautic motor. So this is the round membrane for, let's say, a small 5 horsepower engine. It's elastomer, it's rubber, but on bigger size of motor, you have a rectangular fin and double, which is more effective. So the two advantage of the fin compared to the propeller is the efficiency and less energy consuming, and also the security, because you cannot be hurt by the membrane. And another thing, no algae can be stuck on the fin, and no cord or whatever can go around the propeller. So you can have your boat on a very low, high water or a lot of algae, you have no risk to stop because a lot of algae are stuck in the fin, which is impossible. So today, what our aim is in that business, and that's why we are here for 3 days, is because we have done my son and my daughter has done the FinX E, 150 horsepower, but this will be ready with certification and all the norm and regulation in 2026. So the speed will be exactly the same speed as a propeller, but the efficiency and the energy that you will consume will be lower. So if you look at a small fish, he has a small fin. A medium one, or a dolphin has a bigger fin. But the whale is 20 tons. He has a big fin, and he advances. He doesn't move at 200 Hertz. He moves slowly, but he's efficient. So our system with a double fin act like a dolphin and is very effective and low consuming energy.
Guys, so we're here at the Edorado booth, and they make a hydrofoiling electric vessel, but they're also selling their foiling technology. Let's take a look. We're here with Robert.
Yep.
And of Edorado, and they're not only selling their 8S boat, but they're also involved in the foiling, or I guess selling the foiling technology. Maybe can you talk a little bit about what you're doing with foiling and how you can help other companies with that?
Yeah, sure. So when we met, I think we met in Cannes when we launched the Edorado 8S, which of course is a very beautiful boat, hydrofoil electric powerboat. But even there, we got the question from boat builders, like yards, like, well, it's a beautiful boat, but how about the technology? Would you offer that to companies like us? So, and we've been thinking a lot about that question, and it actually makes a lot of sense for the company to not just sell the design, but actually sell the technology. And the reason is that like the technology of making a boat fly doesn't say anything about the design. It doesn't say anything about the color of the cushions or the amount of cup holders or whether you use it for partying or fishing. It's kind of agnostic to that. And if you think about the boat market has kind of solved that problem. It has many boat brands and it has a few propulsion brands. And we think that actually it makes more sense for us to focus on offering this propulsion system to boat builders. So the way we view it is that the 8S is our flagship. It demonstrates our capabilities. It demonstrates that foiling is great, that you can have great range and great stability and great safety features. But it's not the only expression of this technology that's possible.
What's the process if a company wants to work with you guys to develop the foiling system?
So we have a three-step process. We call it the quick scan, which is the first step, and then we go into feasibility and concept design, and then we go into engineering and production. So basically, the quick scan is if a boat builder is thinking about doing some kind of foiling project, they can share their requirements with us. Maybe they have a 3D file of something that they're working on, and we do a quick implementation of hydrofoils on that project. And it's like a starting point of a conversation. We can put some quick numbers to it, but we don't go to super depth. It's more conceptually, is this something that you are interested in pursuing further? And then if that is a positive, then we make a proper quotation to go into feasibility and concept design. So then we work on all the sort of numbers more specifically. Also, we start thinking about cost. because cost is obviously a big thing of any of this project like this. And then the last step is that we design, do final engineering, and implement the system. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're just wrapping it up here at METS Day 3, and so my overall impression of the show is that it's absolutely insane with how big this place is. It just, I mean, nonstop hall after hall. It's impossible to see it all. Even in terms of electric propulsion, there are just so many providers now, so many companies getting in the game. And a lot of what we're seeing more established companies now, like Bosch has an electric motor here with an inverter. I didn't cover them because it's just seems to be the motor and inverter itself, and not specifically set up for marine. So we tried to cover companies that are have a full and complete system that you can put inside a boat and run with, rather than sort of just the motor. I'm sure the Bosch one is high quality, but we're seeing that quite a lot from also Fisher Panda, which has made generators, seems to be getting into electric marine. And then there are many companies making like small, low kilowatt, 3, 5, 10 kilowatt power motors. And then there are a number of companies that I've seen now at multiple shows that are producing high power, both outboards and inboard motors with full complete systems. So we're just starting to see some really high quality options from companies that have been around a while, a number of years now, that have systems that have many thousands of hours of proven hours of runtime, and which is a good sign. And then we're also seeing quite a few other battery technologies come out. There's quite a few battery manufacturers here showing their products. Kreisel, we got to look inside Kreisel Battery. That was very cool. WattAlps is a newer company, at least as far as I know, in the marine space, and we're seeing some solutions there. Also, some pretty interesting discussions on the future of power for marine. There was kind of a bit of an argument on stage, not a friendly argument, about is HVO, LNG, biofuels, or hydrogen or battery power. What's going to be sort of the fuel of the future? And there's representatives from. It's kind of it's interesting. The combustion motor producers think that battery and HVO is going to take a long time. Battery producers think battery is the answer. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think there's probably benefits to both. But all in all, this show's been pretty cool experience.